second day of training. As you are aware, we are going until I think Thursday of next week or Wednesday of next week, and we look forward to everyone's involvement. For today, to begin, we're going to start with a prayer, and I'm going to ask the coordinator in open learning, Mrs. Knott, to open with a word of prayer, and then we will jump right into it. Mrs. Knott, are you available at this time for us?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Go right ahead.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Let us pray. It is a beautiful day, another day in the land of the living. We give God thanks for all the opportunities and the blessings that will be bestowed upon us. And as we go on the second day of this training, we ask for your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We thank you for the presenters, the organizers, and the faculty, that whatever is done today is learned to the best of their ability and will be applied. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very, very much, Mrs. Knott, for that. Amen. So before we get going, of course, our presenters really need no introduction because they did an amazing job yesterday. We have the privilege of being in the presence of Cengage's top tier trainers, and that is Mr. Jose Santiago and Brenda Flores Acevedo, if I got that correct, right? So, but before I introduce them and give them the floor, I just want to take care of some housekeeping tips for our listeners today and the persons who are engaging. Please be reminded to keep your microphones muted. Stay muted unless you're speaking to keep the audio clear. Additionally, you can feel free to use the raise hand button at any time. You can post questions, comments in the chat. Emojis are definitely welcome. Once we continue to maintain a very engaging and professional environment, that is what we're aiming for here. Stay engaged. We will be taking a break for lunch today, and we ask that everyone is respectful of the time and do well to try to return at the announced time. And this session is being recorded for training purposes and for the use of the material for your leisure at another time. So with all of that out of the way now, let me once again turn the microphone over and welcome Cengage's training session. Today, they're going to be focusing on the upper level stuff with Cengage, MindTap, Moodle, of which they will be engaging me, and I will be under their command when it comes to Moodle. So we ask you to open up your computers, walk it with them, ask questions, stay engaged, and we do have prizes for engagement, questions, all of that good stuff. So without further delay, Mr. Santiago and Brenda, you can take it away. Let's welcome them with virtual applause, shall we?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you, Charnel and Dr. Beta, for this invitation and also for the warm welcoming. But I don't want to, begin without recognizing what a beautiful prayer we had this morning. I appreciate that. It gave me shivers, so I appreciate that you put God in every single place at first before we commit to do everything. So I love it. And I feel more committed, and I feel like I'm more part of your family more than ever. So thank you for that prayer, Mrs. Knott. I appreciate from deeply on my heart. And what a great host do we have, Charnel. You rock. And let me tell you, if I get to have any other presentation, I will invite you so you can introduce us with that energy and that emotional part that you put to everything you say. So thank you so much, Charnel, for putting up all these together so we can have these sessions where we're going to be collaborating alongside with the entire community at UB. So yes, we're here today, same excitement. And just to let you know that our commitment doesn't stop today. So feel free to reach out to us by any meeting or any needs that you might encounter with your endeavors. So we're here to support you. We're here for you. Today, we're going to be focusing in a little bit more advanced workshop delivery, and where Miss Brenda is going to be delivering all these type of, I would say, features, gadgets, and resources that are available inside MindTap. How do we link MindTap with Moodle? How do we get the report book, the grade report, for you to have an instance of that, and many other features that we will cover along these coming up hours. So I'm gonna be muted today. I'm gonna be try to stay calm. If you feel me, I'm a little bit more energetic and I want to, to take charge of everything. But this time I will pass it along to Brenda. So Brenda, it's all yours.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well today. As Jose mentioned, today I will be explaining how to use Cognero. This is a platform that will help professors convert the test bank in Word format. Also, the platform allows professors to create tests, but we are not going to discuss that part in here because it will be too long. And I want to focus as well on other parts of MindTap. In case you want to learn more about Cognero, feel free to contact me and we can meet we can have a one-on-one session to see the complete platform. The other thing we are going to do is create assignments in MindTap through the See Now application. And I'm going to show you how to look for the test bank inside the platform. If it's available, it's important to mention that none of the books has the test bank available inside MindTap. We can see as well how to import test banks into Moodle and how to link MindTap in Moodle. That will be the last part. Let me start sharing my screen. Oh, I think I need the authorization to share screen.
Sorry, my apologies.
Yes, okay.
Let me just set that again. Go ahead, you should be good.
Okay. Okay, perfect. I'm using Charnel's account today as well as Jose. And I already created a course in MindTap, but first I'm going to look where it says Access Instructor Supplements, and I will look for where it says Cengage Testing powered by Cognero. And I'm going to open Cognero. And here we will see how to convert the test banks that are usually in LMS format into Word, into a Word document. It's taking a long. Here it is. Okay, where it says question sets, you will have available all of the test banks of other books that you have added in your account. For example, Charnel has different books added in her account, and I'm able to see the ones that are available inside Cognero right here. And I'm going to look for principles of economics. And let's say I want to convert chapter 1. It's divided in different parts. This one will be multiple choice, and this one will be true or false. Sometimes the book only has a chapter 1 and they mix the types of the questions. It will be essay type, multiple choice, and true or false. Let's say I want to convert this chapter into Word. What I will do is I will select it and drag and drop the chapter to the right side of the screen. And from here, you will have all of the questions available for chapter 1. If you want to see all of them instead of 10, you can click right here where it says view and select all questions. And you can review them. Or if you want to export them into Word, you are going to click where it says file, export, and click Word document. Now it's converting my file. I will need to wait until it completes to be able to download it. Now that is complete, I'm going to click right here. And the document has downloaded into my computer. And Once, and once it opens, you're able to have it in Word, and you can use the information to build your test or use it for reference, class discussion, however you want to use it. If there is any question so far, let me know. I can repeat the process.
I don't see anything in the chat at this time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute all microphones, Brenda, and so just open your microphone back up, okay?
Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. So that was the part to export a test.
Wait, sorry, Brenda, there is one request now in the chat asking if you could please repeat the process.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm going to close right here the chapter 1 that I already exported. And I'm going to do it with the true or false questions for chapter 1. Right here, you will look where it says question sets. You will look for the book that you want to export the test bank. I'm going to extend the chapters. And now I'm going to select this chapter with a double click. And now I'm going to drag and drop the content to the right side of the screen. From there, you will see the questions. And right here, you will see the amounts that are displayed. There are in display 10 questions, but you can display all of them. And this is the amount of questions total for this part, 102. And when you're ready to export the whole content, you click right here where it says File, Export, and select Word document. Now the file is being processed. Once it's ready, you will see the click here option available. And when you click in there, you will automatically download it to your computer and open the document right here. This allows you to, if I click here in enable editing, it allows you to copy and paste the questions into another Word or how you want to use the question. That was okay?
Yeah, I think so. I don't see anything else in the chat. So, Professor McCarty, is that where you wanted her to start from, or is that okay?
Yes, I have another question. Basically, how do we get to this particular page?
Okay.
We use the textbook. As a matter of fact, we use that exact textbook. So it would be good to show. I see, like, right, I would have something like that on my
Yes,
right.
you should have it. In case
Right.
you don't see it, can you send me an email? And I will add it to your account.
Right.
You should
It
look.
looks quite familiar. So what I'm saying is, from this stage here, where do I get to where we just were?
Okay, perfect. Once I open my account, I will look where it says Access Instructor Supplements. And from here, you will have the Cognero application. You need to click right here to open Cognero, and it will look something like this once you open the application.
Great, thank you very much.
Perfect.
I want to add something, Brenda, and I'm sorry, I apologize for this intervention. Remember yesterday when we choose the textbooks from our account from the Instructor Center, that there was this option that it says 1 term, 2 term, and add Cognito as part of the additional resources. You should check that box once you selected the title that you're going to be using with your students. Let's say, for example, Principles of Economics by MindQ, 10th edition. You choose either 1 term or 2 terms, and then at the very bottom, it says Cognito application. You check that box, and it will show up inside your instructor account, just like Brenda showed at the very bottom of the page.
Yes.
But we're here for you anytime. So let us know if you have any situation, and we'll be more than happy to assist.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
In case you want to add the Cognero application and you don't know how to, just feel free to contact us and we can do it for you. Okay. So as I mentioned, this application allows you to create tests based on the test bank, and it also allows you to shuffle the questions so the students don't have the same test. But if you want to see the application in more details, feel free to contact me to schedule a one-on-one session to talk about Cognero. Okay. I don't know if there are questions in the chat before I move on to the next part.
No questions at this time.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to close Cognero. And now I'm going to enter MindTap right here in this course that I created before the session. And once I'm inside MindTap, I'm going to look for the Add Create part right here. And I will click Activity. And then I will look for the See Now Homework Activity application right here. It's going to display all of the activities that are built with this platform. But in case you want to create your own activity, this will be the process. I will click right here where it says Create Assignment. And I'm going to select the test option. It's just a category. Yes, there is a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear that it doesn't matter the textbook being used. Once you go through these steps, you'll be able to see the questions in the homework. I guess this the assignment bank, no matter the textbook. The steps apply to any textbook, correct?
Yes, what is changed is the content. Sometimes there are only homeworks available and the test bank is not displayed. It depends the book and the content that was developed for it. So the instructor will need to follow these steps and check if the test bank is inside the platform.
Okay.
Perfect. So right here, I will select the category test, but the system will give me the questions for homework and test bank. Doesn't matter. We'll click continue. I'm going to give it a name. And you can see right here, the homework, another type of homeworks, and the test bank right here. I'm going to extend the test bank. Let's say you want to create a test for 3 chapters. You can select all of them. I'm going to click continue right here. Now it's giving you the difficulty, the gradability is automatic, and the amount of questions for multiple choice, and the amount of questions for true or false. Let me move right here. Okay. Now I'm going to click continue right here at the bottom to show you something. When you select 3 chapters at a time, you will be displayed this amount of questions. It varies by book, but how do you know which one is for what chapter? So you can look right here in the middle. This is chapter 1. This one are multiple choice. There are a lot of questions. This one are true or false for chapter 1 right here. This is chapter 2, multiple choice. Chapter 2, true or false. And chapter 3 right here, multiple choice and true or false. In case you don't want this amount of questions right here, let's say, for example, you're building a test that is going to be a pool. A pool will be, let's say you select 20 questions from multiple choice and 20 for true or false. And you're going to tell the system, out of these 40 questions, select 20 randomly for each student. If you don't want to have all of the chapter mixed, because it's easier to select all of the questions from one chapter and create a pool, I recommend you do it chapter by chapter, instead of selecting one by one all of chapter 1's questions to create a pool. In case you have already selected the questions, they should match the test bank order. For example, question 1 from true or false, it should be the same one right here. Let me look for it. Okay, true or false, right here. To preview the questions, I'm going to click on top of the questions, and I'm able to see it right here. And if you want to know the answer, you click where it says check my work, and it will give you the answer. So right here, this is the same question from the test banking Word format, true or false. So in case you have selected already your questions, you can look for them one by one and select them. But in case you don't want to do that, and for me, it will be easier to create a pool from all of the questions. That will be another option. I'm going to return where it says add more questions. And I'm going to create a pool, let's say from chapter 1. I'm going to click update right here. I'm going to click OK. And now continue. Let's say I want to add all of these questions. Yes.
From the other screen that you were just at the bottom, where it actually showed the number of questions in that pool, could I not just say I want 25 multiple choice and 25 true or false choice from right there?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Let me go
Okay.
back.
All right. Okay.
Let me click right here, update, and OK. Let's say instead of adding this amount of questions, you only want 20 from multiple choice and 20 from true or false. And I will click continue. And now it will be only 40 questions displayed. And you can add them all to your test. Or if you want to create a pool, like I mentioned before, I'm going to remove all of them right here. Let's say you want to create a pool of 3 chapters. I'm going to click where it says include selected questions. And now I'm going to select create new pool. I'm going to click create. And I'm going to name this pool chapter 1. Let's say each question will have a value of 2 points. And I want the system to select 20 out of the 40 questions randomly for each student. So I have 40 questions total, but my students only will see 20. If you want to add questions from another chapter, I'm going to return right here where it says add more questions. And now I'm going to uncheck chapter 1 and select chapter 2. I'm going to click update. I'm going to click OK in here. And let's say I want to do the same, 20 from true or false and 20 from multiple choice. I will click continue. Select them all. Click again where it says include selected questions and create new pool. I will click create. And now I'm going to name chapter 2 and 2 points each and select 20. Okay. I'm sorry, what was the computer?
No question.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was connecting the computer and it like the screen went off. I don't know if you're able to see it.
Yes, we're still seeing the screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to click create in here. And now I have built a test from 2 different chapters and it will be 40 questions in total. If there is any question so far, let me know.
There's none in the chat.
Okay. So once I finish creating my test, I'm going to click right here, continue. And it's going to take you to the settings for this test. How many times will you allow your students to take the test? Let's say 2 times, for example, or you have also the limited option in case it's a practice. You can change it right there. If you're going to add time, let's say they will have 60 minutes to complete this test. In case you add a password, you will need to share it with them in order to complete the assignment. Right here is the possible amount of points because I assigned 2 points per question and there are 40. In case you want to change it and you don't want it to be 80, you can change it to 100 or 40 points. That will be the total amount of points and the questions will be free score. Or if you want to set it as a practice, you click right here, practice. In case you have 2 attempts for this test, are you going to use the last attempt, the score from the last attempt of the student? Or do you want the platform to create an average of those 2 attempts? That is however you want to set it up right here. The numerical tolerance is usually for numeric questions. In this case, it's not applicable. So you can leave it like where it says only exact answer is correct. And where it says regenerate algorithmic questions, in this case, because I'm giving 2 attempts, I have the option to generate the test for each student and each take. This means that when my student opens the test the first time, they will have a set of questions. And if they open the test for the second attempt, they will have new questions. This will mean for each student and each take. The second option will be for each student and first take only. This means when the student opens the test on the first attempt, the system will generate some questions, and when the student uses the second attempt, they will see the same questions. I don't know if there are questions. Yes.
Okay, the question is, are you able to assign different points for different questions, or do all questions have to have the same point values?
You can do it. Let me see if I can go back. Probably I will need to start over. Oh, no, it's right here. Let's say you want this question to be a different points. Okay, let me move all of this. I think it will have to be individually because I don't see the option right here. Let me check. Yes. Let me add an individual question. Because it's a pool, it will take all of them with the same scores. Let's say I'm going to include only this question, the bottom. And when I click in the question, you can select right here where it says change score value. And instead of 1 point, you can give it 5 points. But it's only available for individual questions, not the ones added in a pool. Are there more questions?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Professor Butler, is that good? I think, in essence, just to be clear, you cannot have a pool and those questions in that pool be differentiated in terms of point value. They all have to be the same once they're in the pool. However, you can pull from different chapters, different questions, and therefore you can assign different points once they're from different chapters.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so I will click continue. And now the score changed because I added another question and I assigned a value of 5 points. I was explaining right here the algorithmic questions. The first option is to generate the test with different questions for the amount of attempts that you give your students. The second option will only generate a test in the first take, and the rest of the rest of the takes, they will see the same questions. Or if you don't want to regenerate the test, you click never. If there are any questions about this part, let me know.
I think you can continue. No questions.
Okay. And the shuffle, what it will do is will change the order of the questions. Let's say you click right here, never, and all your students are going to have the same questions. You can click the shuffle so they see it in different order. And hide question labels. I forgot to show you the question labels, but I think I can go back. Your questions labels is this codification that is right here for the question. And let me return. If you want to hide it from your students, you can select this option. This was added because professors were reporting that students were posting those codification on the internet to get the answers. In case you don't want them to see it, you can hide it right here.
Really, they could do that?
They were reporting that to Cengage, and that's why they added the hide label option. Okay. And now, right here, you will have the feedback for this assignment. I'm going to select right here. In case you want your students to see their responses, the score of the questions, and details, you can select right here, and you will be given two options. Immediately after they finish, they will see this information, or you can select at a certain date. Let's say this is a test, and you have students that were absent, and you don't want them to see this information. Let's say 1 week after. You select the date when they will be able to see this information, and as well as the correct answer and any feedback that the assignment has. And you can select a certain date right here. Are there any questions?
Okay, are there any other built-in mechanisms with the MindTap pertaining to cheating hacks that students may, I mean, is there any updated, I don't know, security or anything to prevent students from hacking into the answers or going to ChatGPT looking for the answers to the questions or anything of that sort?
As of now, we don't have anything, but the company is implementing different techniques for security in the future. But if the university uses applications like Respondus, Proctorio, I think is called the other one, or HonorLog,
Right.
if you integrate these activities into Moodle, you're able to add those restrictions, and the student will need to connect through those applications.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
But if there are any additional tips that faculty would need, like you said a few moments ago, hiding the labels, prevent them from copying and then putting it in an online search engine to try to if there are any other tips, please don't forget them.
As of now, I know this one, it is common because professors were requesting developers to do something, and that's why they found to do like hide the question labels. But in the future, I know they are implementing more features to help professors with the security of the platforms regarding these things where students want to know their answers. I think there's another
Go
question.
ahead, Professor Hepburn.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Are there any leeway for us to tweak the questions and make it our own?
No, that will not be available inside the platform.
Okay. We'll just have to add a totally, could we create our own though? I mean, maybe we can't change a question, but are we able to create our own question?
I will need to check if that is projected in the roadmap for the changes, and I can let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
One suggestion on that topic, I would say that if you use the Cognero tool and download the test in the Word format, you can edit the test in which content you would like to present it to the students. And then you can save that test that you edit inside your Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive and upload it within the create the assignment part inside MindTap. Is that something that can be done, Brenda?
It can be done, but the students will not be available to answer inside MindTap. It will be a Word document that they will need to download, answer
And
it.
it will be manually corrected, right? Manually score.
Yes, and the platform as of
Gotcha.
now doesn't accept the students submitting the assignment. Those are things that are going to be implemented in the future.
Sure. Yep. Gotcha.
Well,
Thank you, Brenda.
the other way around that, Professor Hepburn, would be if you actually have the Word file of all of the test questions, you go in and you correct the questions to whatever it is you want the questions to be, then you can create an Aiken file or a gift file with that Word and then upload it into Moodle, where
Yes.
Moodle will actually mark the questions for you.
That's correct.
Problem solved.
And if you have, I don't know how they're called, but this application to restrict the students or block them from going to Google or another platform, that will be the best option through Moodle.
Yeah. The only reason why I asked if we could tweak the question, I know during COVID, we ran into this problem in math where they would be able to find questions online. And what we would do, we would just put in busy words that when they would search, they would get all sorts of weird things. So like, say, for instance, if we had the volume of a box, we would say the volume of a Junkanoo box at Saxon, something, something. And then when they Google it, It
That was
no longer
clever.
was just a math thing. It became, they would talk about crepe paper and all that stuff. And so they realized they were wasting their time. And so sure enough, they started just working their questions. So
Right.
that's why I thought it would have been a good thing if we were able to tweak on this platform.
Okay. We have another application for math. It's called WebAssign, and that application allows instructors to build their own questions. It could be as multiple choice true or false, or if there are questions of mathematical reasoning, it uses a programming language. I think it's called, it's a variation between Perl, HTML, and I forgot the other name, but I can
Oh,
send
that's
it.
fine. As long as it's programmable, that's great. Okay.
Yes, but
All right.
it's our platform for math. This is basically
This
other
is different.
disciplines.
Yeah, all the other. Okay. All right. Thank you.
I think it's really good at this point, if I may interject, Santiago and Brenda, to probably comment, because I remember one time ago in the last session, you guys made the point that you do have right now different platforms for different subject areas,
Yes,
if I am correct. There's
that's
something for
correct.
chemistry or something for science, which is different from something for, so I think if you guys could just make that point again.
Yes, we have right now 4 different platforms. Um, MindTap is basically for business, statistics. Some books are in MindTap, other ones are in WebAssign. Um, Basically, general disciplines. Chemistry has its own platform. It's called OWL. Accounting has its own platform that is called CNOW, as the application that we're using in MindTap. And everything for math, physics, algebra, calculus, precalculus is inside the platform WebAssign. So in case you are in a different discipline, let me know or send me an email and I can check the platform that the content will be available. And in case you want to see that platform, we can schedule a meeting.
Yeah, I think that would be great
Thank you.
to, for persons like Professor Hepburn, so that they could, if she isn't already using it, you know, they could actually plug and play and change up and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Are there more questions for the settings of assignments?
I don't see any in the chat. Feel free, professors, to open up your mic at this time if you do have a question pertaining to settings.
Quick question. Even though the platform is somewhat different, the skeleton on how we assign the questions, like what you've been showing us, where we can pool it and all of that stuff, that's generally the same? Or would that be something different as well on those platforms?
In WebAssign, you will have like a question bank, and from there you select which question you want your students to answer. It's usually
So it is a different platform then. So I don't want to take away from this presentation. I just wanted to know if it was similar. All right. Okay, thank you though.
it's similar. Well, it's completely different, the interface. But selecting the question, you will have displayed all of the questions available for, let's say, one unit or one section, and you go evaluate what questions are available depending on what you discuss in your class, and you select those questions. And let's say you want to go to another unit, you return to that part and select the rest of the questions. It's just that it's mathematical question. You will see graphs, you will see images with movement. Is different.
All right, thank you.
Perfect. In case you want to see more of that platform, feel free to contact us and we can schedule a meeting. Okay. Are there more questions?
I think we can move forward.
Okay, perfect. So I finished with my assignment settings. Right now I'm going to click Create Test. my test was created, but it's important to mention that is not added in the Mind tab content. For that, I'm going to look for my test name. I have it right here. And if you see where it says link, it says no. This means it's not inside the Mind tab content. To add it, I'm going to click right here in this circle. I'm going to click continue, and it's going to send me again to the settings option just to revise them, or if you want to do make any changes, it's the time to do it. If you forget to make a change and you wanted to remove a question, you wanted to rescore a question, and your students already answered this assignment, you will not be able to change it back. So it's important that you make all of the changes before the students start answering the assignment. Okay, so let's say I finish. I'm going to click continue. And now this is the activity test. If you want to add a description, it's optional. You can assign the available and due dates from here. Let's say this will be available from today at say 8 a.m. and it's going to be due the 6th at 6 p.m. You click done. And right now, if I click add, this activity will be added at the bottom of all of the content in Mind tab. I'm going to do it so you can see it. So it's at the end. But if you want to add this test inside a chapter or a particular unit, or you want to create a folder, let's say only for tests, and let's say it's going to be at the end of the chapters, you're able to do it right here. This is my folder. I'm going to click right here, edit, and I'm going to click edit again right here. Let's say this test will be part of chapter 5. And I'm going to select right here and look for my chapter 5. But as you can see, chapter 5 has different folders. They have the Learned, Studied, and Applied folder. If you want to add it inside one of those folders, you click where do you want it exactly, or if it's inside the whole chapter and you want it to be at the first thing the students will see after completing any activity, for example, I'm going to click before Learned folder. I'm going to click save. And now I will look for chapter 5. And my test is right here. If you want to move it at the end, you can do it as well. Clicking here, edit activity options. Oh, sorry, no, this is to review the settings. Click right here at end and save. And now it moves to the bottom of the chapter. So you can move this test wherever you want inside the content of Mind tab. If there are any questions, let me know.
I don't see any in the chat at this time. So basically, once you click on that location button, you could put it under the folder you've just created or any other folder anywhere you want it to be, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
If you want me to repeat anything, feel free to ask.
And because we would have already created the settings in terms of the score and everything in the test bank in that setting, we don't necessarily have to create settings for this assignment, it would automatically align with the settings with this gradebook?
The settings was the attempt. Let me open
Like
it.
this MindTap has a gradebook, yes?
Yes, it has.
Okay, so MindTap gradebook, if I set my MindTap gradebook to be weighted, where I have tests, where I have assignments, and then I have homework. This here is a test. Once I automatically create this test and pull this into MindTap, will it automatically sync with the settings that I have with the MindTap gradebook? That's my question.
Yes, it will appear automatically in the gradebook. I have no students in this course, and I cannot have students because we're going to link this course into Moodle.
Right.
Jose, do you remember the book that you used yesterday? I think it was for computing. The Shelley Cashman book.
It was Chili Cashman, Microsoft Office 2021. Yes, that one.
Right here. Let me open this book to look for the gradebook. Let's say I have created a test in this course, and it will be added wherever the content is displayed. In this case, I added this assignment as part of chapter 5, so it will be available with all of the chapter 5 activities.
Right.
And if you link this into Moodle, when your students start answering the test, those grades will sync automatically into Moodle.
Okay. So once your Moodle gradebook is set up, however you desire it to set up, no matter what the activity is, once you link it in, if Moodle, it's not going to give you a weighted percentage out of MindTap. It's actually going to send that actual grade into Moodle, and then your Moodle gradebook settings would take effect. And okay, all right.
When you are linking the course in Moodle, the platform will give you two options. The first one is to create a column in the Moodle gradebook, and from there you will need to assign the weights inside Moodle. The other option is if you're going to create the weights in MindTap, then you select that option. I think is add gradebooks settings, I think it's called, and we were going to see it shortly. And what that will do is we'll create only one column with the percent from MindTap, but it will be based on the calculations that you decided inside MindTap. Usually, professors prefer the first option that create a column for each activity, and they create the weights from Moodle.
Noted. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. If there are more questions, let me know.
I think it's safe to move on.
Okay. So for MindTap, I have finished this part. We will be moving into Moodle. So if you have any questions from MindTap or something that you want to see, let me know before we go into Moodle.
Professors, I take it that there are no questions pertaining to MindTap at this time. If you do have something you need to know or figure out, feel free to contact with the contact information provided in the chat, Brenda and Jose, at another time if the questions are not coming to you right now. Feel free to contact them anytime. Go ahead.
Chanel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes,
Go ahead.
wonderful. I had a question. I stepped away for about a minute. I'm not sure if it may have been covered, but I'm going to ask it again. For the MindTap, there's usually the gradebook has a set of percentages, and I know that it can be crossed over to Moodle. My question is, is there an instance where the grades show up in both places so that, let's say, for instance, if Moodle goes down, would the grades still be available for the professor to see in Cengage or MindTap?
Yes, it will remain the same in both platforms. What the linking do is like the student complete the assignment in MindTap, they get the grade, and then that grade is passed into Moodle. So you are able to see the grades in both platforms.
Okay, excellent. And my second question to that is when I'm setting up or when I'm doing the linking, when I'm linking MindTap to Moodle, am I able to set up that for?
Yeah, can you repeat
So
this?
when I'm linking the course from Cengage into Moodle, when I'm doing that setup, am I able to connect the gradebook there, or is that a separate activity?
For the grades to reflect in Moodle, you will need to import each activity from MindTap. Add a specific link of each activity, and from there, the column will be created in the Moodle gradebook.
Okay, I understand. So after each unit, me as a professor can transfer or import the grades over to Moodle so that the students see it. So like, let's say, for instance, if they do Word module 5, once they finish that unit, I can transfer the scores from MindTap over to Moodle.
You will need first to add a link for the module or each activity independently in Moodle.
Okay.
And when your student complete the activity in MindTap, the score will sync automatically with Moodle.
Okay. Okay, I had a question about this last semester, so yes, you've clarified it for me. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Is there any more questions? Let me know.
I don't see any in the chat. I think, Dr. Pinder, we're going to walk through the whole Moodle thing in a minute. So I'm under Brenda's command. So whenever she gets there, we'll walk through that whole step so that we could see it. Okay.
Oh, excellent, excellent, excellent.
Perfect. So I'm going to stop sharing if there are no more questions.
All right. So you want me to share the Moodle account?
Yes, if you can.
Okay. So right now I am sharing my Moodle page. Can you see it?
Yes. And
Okay.
for adding Cengage link, you first need to go to the top and click Turn Editing On.
Right.
And then look, where do you want to add these links? It's important to explain. The first link that is created will be used for your students to register in your MindTap course. If you link your course in Moodle, you will not need to share the document that Jose explained yesterday, because when they try to enter a course key or register through that link, the same system will tell them you need to register through your LMS, and they will not be allowed to complete the registration. So it's important that when you add your link in Moodle, don't share the course key or the student instructions with them. Only tell them log in into Moodle and look for the first link, or you can give it a name like Charnel is showing. I always recommend change that name to enrollment link so they know what they are accessing. Okay. So now
So I'm going to put it in week 6.
Okay, perfect. So once you're in week 6, you click where it says Add Activity or Resource, and now look for External Tool, and select Cengage where it says Reconfigure Tool, and click Select Content. And from there, you are going to look for your book. Can you try if it allows you to delete those contents in the icon right there?
Right here?
Yes. If there are students, probably will not allow you. Okay. And
delete this one too?
Yes. Okay, so that's what the instructor will see when they are going to integrate the course for the first time. You can click where it says select platform. And in this case, I use Principles of Economics book. I use the latest edition. I don't know if you're using the previous one.
Boy, I've been busy.
Oh.
All right, so this is it here, right?
Yes, I think it's the previous one, but there's no problem. Okay.
Let me see.
Yes, it's just that I use the newer book and
Yes,
and you're
that's the
using
previous.
yes.
Okay,
That's the previous one.
press continue.
Yes, press continue. And now you're going to leave it like that where it says individual student purchase and click continue.
Continue.
And now this is the part where you need to decide what do you want to do. The first option, you will be creating an empty course. What I mean with empty is if you go first in Cengage and modify your course, you will need to use the option link to a course that was already created. In this case, it's not available because I use in Charnel's account the book with the newest edition. But if I have used this same edition, it will show in there the course that was created. The other option is copy an existing course. This is, let's say, next semester, you want to copy a previous course that you already had. You select this option and it will give you a list with all of your courses that you previously created. And from there, you select which one do you want. Copy another instructor course with a course key is to copy, let's say, Charnel already built a course and she wants all of instructors of the same class to use the same course. You can share that course key and they add it in there and they will see the content that was already selected for that class. Or in this case, we're going to create a new course from scratch. You can select that first option and click continue. Yes. And this is what I mentioned. It's asking you if you want to add a column for each activity or the add overall score. What it will do is will add only one column with the average or the weight that you already selected in MindTab. But for that, you need first to set the MindTab gradebook. Professors usually prefer the first option, that it creates a column for each activity and the score reflects automatically in Moodle, and from there they build their weight.
Continue.
And this is the course name. In this case, is the first link, so I recommend adding the enrollment word or link to join MindTab, link to join Cengage, whatever you feel is best for your students. And the time zone is correct, and now the start date and end date. Important, the start date is when your students are going to use the platform, so they have the 14 days trial from that day.
So today is the 3rd. Let's forgot that. End date?
Yes.
Select any date for the end date?
Yes.
Okay.
And now click finish. And now it's asking you if you want to select content. You can click there, select content to import the activities that you want your students to complete from MindTab and that you want the grades to be synced with Moodle. So from there, you will see all of the chapters available for the book. You will need to extend each chapter
Can you tell me what this means here where it says switch to overall score?
That's the setting. Remember that I explained that the first one is
Okay, all right, right. Yeah,
to
yeah.
add a column. This is
Mhm.
if you want, let's say, no, now I want to change the grading setting. So you change it to the other option that was if you are going to create the weights in MindTap and you want to pass only the grading MindTap into Moodle. I mean, the complete grading in MindTap as
Okay.
one column. Okay, if you can extend chapter 1, for example, this is the getting started part. Everything, okay, let's say extend where it says practice and apply. Okay, and can you extend the other one? I'm looking for an activity. Okay, perfect. That is a homework. And I don't know if you've noticed that at the right, there is another square as well. You need to check both squares. And you can click the one on the left as well.
Oh, this one here too.
Yeah, if you click that one, usually the one from the right automatically is selected.
I understand.
If you can do it just to make sure. So unselect both.
Okay.
And if you click on the one on the right, to the homework part, not the other one.
Oh, that's left. You want the right or left?
I mean, the left, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. And then it selects both, right?
It
Yeah.
selects both
Yeah.
automatically.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, that's all right.
The column or the box in the right, what it's telling you is going to add the column in the gradebook. If you go to the top, it will say add to gradebook. Is what it means.
Right. I understand. Mhm.
If you want to select only that one, then click continue. And now it's giving an error. I don't know if it's because of the name.
While you're figuring that out, would the students be aware? Is it what is in the grade, what will be going to the grade book versus what isn't?
You
Is that
mean
going to
in
be
Moodle?
labeled for them when the students go on a platform? They would see what will be graded versus what isn't? Or is that just an internal thing that we know?
If it's from Moodle, I think they will not be able to see if it's a practice or counts towards grade. They will need to enter MindTap, and from there they will see it.
Okay, thank you.
Now you can save. Turn now.
Save and display, save and return to course.
I think it's save and return to course. And right there you have the homework. You can click in there.
You want me to switch as a student or?
Yes, you can switch. Oh, it's asking.
Because remember, I'm a student.
Yes, yes.
So as
But I
a
think
student,
if you click as an instructor, it will take you directly to the assignment.
okay,
You can change the role.
all right. So I guess the point to be made there is, and I'm not too sure of any link that is clicked, but once the student actually clicks the link, if they've not registered, it would automatically take them to that page where they would then have to go through the whole registering process, where they can actually create an account first. So this technically that is what you would actually see if you were to click on the enrollment join Cengage link. So that's the reason for actually labeling it like such, so that when they click on that, they go through this whole process where they sign in. Thereafter, after they've already created accounts, they sign back into Moodle, or they come back to the Moodle dashboard here, and they go to week 6. Now that they've actually registered, and they click on the week 6, then it should take them directly to the MindTap activity, correct?
Correct. Yes. You can click skip guided setup. It's not taking you to the activity because you're an instructor.
An instructor.
Yes. But when students click on that link, they will be taken directly to that assignment. They will not navigate MindTap. They will just start answering the assignment.
Right. So skip.
Yes.
X out of this.
Yes.
And skip again.
Correct.
Now, obviously, because I'm in instructor mode, it takes me here, yes?
Yes.
But if I'm a student, it will take me, and I would only see that one activity.
Yes, it's supposed to be one activity. What I noticed is when you join MindTap, it say link to join MindTap, but then it took the activity name. I don't know. If you want to add another activity, just to make sure.
Okay. So what do you want me to do? Sorry?
Go to Moodle and add another activity.
Okay. So
Yes.
let's go to Moodle. I'm going to turn it back on. I think it's turn editing on. I'm going to go back to week 6 to add another activity. So I'm at week 6, add an activity or resource. I'm going to click all, external tool. I'm going to pre-configured tool, click on Cengage,
Correct.
select content.
Yes. And select content.
From the book that I'm using at this time.
If you can go chapter 2 and the homework.
Sorry. Chapter 2 homework?
Yes.
And
click on the left on homework. And click continue.
Continue.
And now at the end say, can you click in there now in chapter 2?
Okay.
I think the first one took the name of homework 1, but it's really the enrollment link.
I understand. Right. Yeah.
Now you are directly taken to
chapter 2.
Yes.
The questions or activity, homework. That's what it said, homework. Right.
And if you go to the grade book in Moodle, you should see the column created for the activity.
Right here.
Right there. Yes.
Yes.
Once the students start completing that assignment,
it will automatically pull in.
That's correct.
And if for any reason, if Moodle was to mash up, blow up, and go into the heavens, dashboard at MindTap is always available to select and look at the grade, manipulate, bring it back into Moodle when Dr. Bethel then fixed the situation.
Thank you so much. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Okay, so I've seen it in real time. Thank you.
Perfect. Important. If you want to change the settings for this assignment, remember you will need to go into MindTap. Let's say one of your students was doing the test and the internet went out and it was only one opportunity, so the student is not going to be able to go back. If you want to give or remove that attempt, you will need to go into MindTap, into the gradebook, and look for the student name and remove that attempt.
For that student.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
If there are any more questions, let me know.
Would you like something to, I mean, that's pretty much straightforward, but I can go through the steps again under Brenda's command if anyone would like. And obviously the steps in Moodle are the same no matter the textbook that are used, correct? Once you link and you sync, it's pretty much the same walk in the park.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can even import the readings or the chapter readings. It depends how do you want to build your Moodle course. If you only want to add the assignments, is up to every professor how they want to build their course.
Would the students have access to all the resources that are on Cengage still through this platform?
Yes,
Like the flashcards and things like that?
yes,
Okay.
they will need to enter into MindTap and they will have all of the same resources.
But would they need to individually, let's say if it's a flashcard or something, would they have to link that? Or that student will only be able to, when they get to MindTap, then access all of those features?
Yes, they will need to get into MindTap to access the flashcards, the glossary. Even if they highlight something, it will be in
In
MindTap.
MindTap. So Moodle pretty much provides the link.
That's
Where it's one place that you go to Moodle, you sign into Moodle. Once the instructor puts the link to the textbook for reading or puts the link to chapter assignment, it will then redirect them once they come in through this door to specifically where they need to go in MindTap. Once they get into MindTap, they could play with as many things that are there.
correct. If you want, we can do the test. If you can click on the homework chapter 2.
Okay, let me see. Homework chapter 2.
Obviously, you will see the instructor account, but the students will see their view. And you click the X that is below your name,
Mm-hmm.
you will get into MindTap. The students will do the same.
Right.
Unless they will not see the edit and app create option.
There's the glossary.
Yes. And
Mhm.
Sorry, did I see correctly that the ebook was a link in on your Moodle page, Charnel? Did I see
Yeah,
that?
I think I have so many things here. I'll have to,
you
Brenda,
can
y'all will have to remind me because I just be busy. So yeah, so here, this is a chapter link
yes.
Okay,
to
excellent.
the actual, okay, I don't know.
This
what's
is a course that already closed, but if you want to do it with the one that is active, you can show it.
okay, yeah. But yeah, so I do have a couple of chapter links here that I would have used in previous training. So you can bring in chapter
By chapter,
Oh.
but not, but can they access the entire ebook directly through Moodle?
with one link.
Yeah, with one link. That's what I.
You will need to add it as an ebook, and it's possible that if they don't have the access code, at some point they will not be able to see it.
To see it, okay. Because I know a student asked me that last semester, and I had reached out, but I don't remember if I'd given them an answer. But thank you. Okay, so you can add chapter by chapter,
Yes,
but
you
once
can.
they lose access, then they cannot access the textbook. Is what you're saying?
Yes, in case they say the trial expire and they haven't redeemed their code, it's possible that they are not able to see the ebook.
They have to pay for the access, right?
Yes, we usually the platform already has a 14 days trial.
Right.
And then when they receive the code from Chapter 1 bookstore, in case there is a problem from our side, we extend usually the access, the trial until they receive those codes.
Right. Okay. Just making sure.
What?
Thank
Oh,
you.
sorry. How can they could they print parts of those pages or whatever?
The ebook?
Yeah, my concern is, especially with the e-platform, when their access is finished, and let's say they they no longer have access to the textbook. A lot of these would be reference tools now for some of the students. They no longer have access to go back. Are they able to print any portions of the book at all?
Yes, from MindTab, they are allowed one page at a time, but from the ebook format that Jose showed yesterday, I think they are allowed up to 10 pages
Okay.
for one time. Yes, they are allowed to print. Not probably if they want to print 25 pages at a time, it will not be the case, but they are allowed to print.
Okay. And then another thing, you notice how we assign things through Moodle and the grade is incorporated in all of that, right? So let's say a student now navigates away because they're doing chapter 2's assignment, right? On the MindTap platform now, the Cengage platform, let's say now there's another assignment that they start to do that would automatically be updated on Moodle as well. So it doesn't matter where they access it from, it will still be updated in Moodle grade
Yes,
wise. So
yes,
they don't necessarily, so even though they may access it from chapter 2, they do chapter 2, and while they're on MindTap, they start chapter 3. They didn't have to have access it from Moodle to get to chapter 3. I just want to make sure that's okay.
they can access it from MindTab, but the grades will not be reflected until you incorporate the
Really?
activity in Moodle.
No, but I mean, let's say the activity does exist in Moodle.
Oh,
Right.
if it's in Moodle and it doesn't have a due date assigned or an available date, they can complete the whole book if they want. If
On
it's
the
not
Cengage platform, and it would be updated in the Moodle. Okay.
yes,
Okay. I just didn't want that. Okay, when they're finished with one, they have to go back to Moodle, click on the assignment, and then go back to Cengage. Once they're on one platform, they could continue working.
let's say they open chapter 2 activity and they finish and they open right there chapter 3 and they see that they have 3 more activities and they are already in Moodle as well, but the student opened the activity inside MindTap already. The score, it will be synced into Moodle.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
I think I just want to be clear here, Brenda, the point to be made is that it is important for the instructor to make sure incorporate the links in the Moodle side in order for it to actually be in the Moodle gradebook, correct?
That's correct. So they can see the scores in Moodle.
Right. So if the instructor does not create the assignment for chapter 3 in Moodle, but created the assignment for chapter 2 in Moodle, but the student comes to MindTap via the link that was created for chapter 2, see chapter 3 assignments, attempts to do chapter 3 assignments in MindTap, which the instructor did not create the link. In that instance, there would be no grade for Moodle for chapter 3 in Moodle. That grade would only exist in MindTap. Correct?
That's correct.
So now let's say if the instructor goes now, after the student would have already completed the assignment in MindTap, creates this assignment, if it's the correct assignment, in Moodle, thereafter that grade will show up in the Moodle book. Yes?
Yes, it will keep. In case you have problems with the grades that are not syncing into Moodle, you can contact support or let me know and I can help you to contact support because they are the ones that have the features to see what is happening with the link.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the members of faculty? What I want to ask Brenda, I mean, on the point of the students, either you or Jose, if you can go over. So I'm an instructor. I'm about to start this semester. You guys already got me straight. I have the, I don't know what you call it, the document that you'll normally email to the instructors. What should I do at that point? Do I give something to the students? Do I give them the course key or do I just direct them to Moodle?
If you're linking the course in Moodle, don't share the link because they will get an error and they will not be able to enroll in MindTap. It's preferred that if you are adding the link into Moodle on the first day of class, tell them to log in into Moodle and look for the link with the name that you have given.
Right.
For them to enroll from Moodle.
Right. So it's not do both. If you're integrating with Moodle, you simply direct your students to Moodle on day one, where they would click on the Cengage link that says, click here to join, or something like that. And then that will start their process. Once they register, that would start their 14-day trial process, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
All right. Now, if they don't have the access code by the end of the 14-day trial, can faculty reach out to you and ask for an extension?
Yes, that's what they usually do. They keep in contact with us and tell us there is 1 day until the trial expire, and Jose usually approves the extension.
Okay. All right. Are there any further questions from any members, participating members? Is there anything else would you like them to go over? I think the Moodle steps, that's it, right? That's it to the Moodle steps, right, Brenda?
Yeah, one question from me.
Yes.
We've been focusing on linking each of the activities to the Moodle gradebook, assuming that there are going to be other things in Moodle that they want to combine with Cengage grades. However, the faculty member can set up the gradebook entirely in Cengage and just pull over the overall MindTap score. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do we have time to go over how we can set up the gradebook in MindTap?
I will need to look for an active course with students for that.
Oh yes, of course, because you need to have the scores available. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me check. Dr. Pinto, do you have an active course that I can use for that?
Not active as in January 2025.
Okay. Yes, it's
Yeah.
just that most of the
everything would have been previous play last year.
And-
So
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't know whether there is a demand for that, but I just was following on from Dr. Hepburn's question, because if the course is conducted entirely in MindTap, there's
That would-
no real reason why you have to bring over each individual assignment. You could just have the gradebook set up in MindTap, and then that final grade exported over to Moodle. But we can always reach out to you if it seems like faculty are interested in that approach.
Yes, in case any faculty have any doubts, they can contact me, and when your students start answering that you have points or they have enrolled already in MindTap, that we can see the gradebook part. We can meet and I can explain that part.
Okay, perfect.
And
at least they would have options, I mean, if someone doesn't necessarily want to pull in assignment per assignment, activity, at least that gives them an option. And at the end of the day, they just sync the final grade of all of the activities from MindTap into Moodle, so that they would just have that into Moodle. But
Yes.
then I think students would have to still be directed to MindTap, possibly to look at individual scores of individual assignments, because obviously that won't be available on the Moodle side. It would just be one grade.
Yes, and I also recommend to hide the activities that you will not be using, because let's say we're only importing into Moodle the homeworks, but there are tests, there are videos or other activities in MindTap that probably your student is completing, but is not going to be part of their grades.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that we instructors would need to know, be reminded of?
I have a quick question, if that's okay,
Go
about
ahead.
grades.
Mhm.
A student, how are the averages calculated on MindTap? What I mean by that, sometimes the students are misled. I know on other platforms that we use in math, a student who's just done 2 assignments, they bust 100 in each assignment, their average is 100. And it's not until that we put in zeros for all of the assignments they miss that they get a true average. They've only done 2 assignments out of 100. Clearly, the average is going to be really dismal now. Do they get a running average, or is it just an average over what they would have completed?
I understand that the points will be added and then divided by the amount of attempts. I can send you that correct information, but I think the average is calculated based on the amount of points of both. If it's 2 attempts, it will be added and then divided between 2.
No, I don't mean 2 attempts. I meant like individual assignments. So let's say there are 10 assignments in the course, the entire course, 10 assignments. The student has only done 2, and they got 100 in both of those 2 assignments. Okay. Their average, I'm just saying in other platforms, the average would appear to be 100% because on what they have completed, they've gotten 100%. However, not until now, we do the total average over everything, and that's normally done at the end of the semester. Then the student gets their true average. They've only gotten 2 out of 10, which is now 20%. And we get the complaints. I was getting 100% all along in my thing and all of that stuff. And I'm wondering, is there how is the averages calculated on this platform? Is it going to give them the average on what they've completed, or what is anticipated for them to have completed?
I will need to write back to you about that question. What I have seen is, for example, when the students start completing an assignment, let's say there's 10 assignment and they only have done 2, and the platform will tell you this student have 20 out of 200, for example, on points on what part. Let me see if I can find one course active or open one of them to show you that part, because
Yes, wouldn't it be a weighted average of some sort?
let me check.
Maybe the instructors who've been using it, what does the average the student normally gets? Is it a running total, or is it just an average of what they've completed?
I know in Moodle I've done the weighted average where they actually see out of the total what
So
they've
total,
done.
okay, so then they have a true sense of how they're doing in the course. But I'm just wondering in Cengage how it's set up. Yeah. We
I
don't
think
get, go on.
Sorry, I was thinking that another way to ask the question, Cengage, would be, is there a feature in MindTap that actually allows professors to say, include 0 assignments in the calculation or not? Because that feature is available in Moodle, whereby for the gradebook, the assignment could, the instructor could say to Moodle, only select everything, calculate everything, or leave blanks, don't calculate the blanks, calculate zeros, etc. Is there such a feature where they can select total average or include blanks, include zeros, calculate zeros, something of that sort?
They can create weights. Yes.
No, if you allow me, I just share a link in the chat,
Yeah.
which it explains everything, how it's done. You can see as individual by activities, and then you will find at the very bottom the average for it. And also in that link that I shared right now in the chat, it gives you the instruction how to set that up. So Charnel, you just was, navigating my mind. So yes, it's already in there.
Okay. Okay. I open.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to share my screen. I open a course from last semester from an instructor. This is small. Are you able to see the MindTap gradebook? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, we can.
This is how it will look once your student starts enrolling in MindTap. You will see their names in here. This course, they add different activities that are manually graded right here. And these are the activities from the platform. So you can see the percent the students have, the amount of points, that they have so far.
So the ones with the 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, okay, that's obviously 0. But with the calculations of the persons who have non-zero grades and then 0 grades, are the zeros included? Obviously, because the zeros are there, but are the zeros included in the calculation?
Yes, for example, these students, I guess, only completed some activities. Let me check. Right here, only 2 activities, and then it's telling you that it only have 163
63.
points.
Oh, right. So obviously it's not calculating based on what they've only done. I mean, it is calculating based on. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And now that I'm here, I can show you the settings to create the weight. Let's say you want to add the test category. Let's say group project, for example. Let's say additional activities.
Now, is it important for the instructor to make sure that the weighting categories that they create in MindTap is also the same as Moodle? Because you don't want it to be different, where you just do homework and tests in MindTap, and then when you get to Moodle, you have homework, test, and project.
Let's say, for example, if the instructor says MindTap homework will be 10% of their final grade, so it will need too much.
Okay.
Those settings will need to be added like that in Moodle.
Okay.
Right now, I'm creating categories in MindTap to calculate the final grades for my students. Let's say I have these 3 categories, and I'm going to activate the category weight. Let's say test will have a 34%, and the other ones will be 33. They need to equal 100. And now where it says on categorize, let's say I'm going to add this as test. I'm going to select them and drop them to the correct
category.
That's correct. Say this will be for test. Let's say this will be, for example, group project. And let's say this will be additional activities. And once I create all of my categories and add the assignments that I want to calculate the weight, I click save, and the student's grade will be rescored. I'm not going to do it because this was an ongoing course for last semester, and in case the instructor needs to go back and see the grades for the students, I don't want to mess anything up. You can even drop lowest score. Let's say you're going to drop one activity with the lowest score for each category. That's what means the 1.
And you could change that to as many?
I think, yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to drop 2 activities with lowest score.
Scores, right, yeah. Okay. I think we had a question pertaining to that in Moodle yesterday.
Yes.
But yeah.
You can set late policies right here as well. And card changes. And the platform will let you know what assignments will be available for late policies. Usually it will be restricted by due dates, or sometimes the platform doesn't allow them. There is a guide about what activities can be set late policy that I can send it to you. You add the penalty. Let's say you will give your students 3 days after the due date, and you are going to remove 15% of their grade, or however you want to take out of their grade for answering late an assignment. And then right here you select which assignment is not allowing me because this already is due date. It is closed already. And the roster right here, you can see the students that already redeemed their access code, the ones that have not redeemed. And from here, let's say one of your students dropped the class, I move the bar, and I'm showing these dots. And when I click right here, you can select the option to drop the student from the class. And the other part that is not usually available to show during the trainings is the analytics part. Each dot is one of your students. If you navigate, each dot will give you the name, the time the student spent in the platform, the score that it has right now in the platform, and it will give you an engagement score. If I click on this student, you will have a detail of the student, the amount of hours spent in the platform, how many times the student has logged in. It will give you the first login and the last one. And you can see as well the scores from the student and the assignments that the student worked on. If there is any questions, let me know. I think this can be exported, if I'm not mistaken, right here. You can click export, and you will have an Excel document with the information from your students. Let me open it here. You will have right here the exact day and hour that the students log in and everything. The amount of logins, the first one and the last one. These have been useful. Some professor has contacted me to check if they can see when was the last login of the student, because they are telling that they didn't have the assignment available or something. And that's what I do. Export the file and send it to the professor. It's up to you.
Okay, good stuff.
Okay. Any questions? Let me know.
Yes, just seeing this analytics is very helpful. I think this can be a good reminder for helping to get students more organized, letting them know that you can see their engagement.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. And the thing is, I mean, for me as an instructor, because, you would think because we're in this microwavable time where everyone wants everything now, you would think that the students have everything on their phones just organized, boom, boom, bam. But, for the level of classes that I teach, I didn't really have that experience. So I have to remind them, I have to assist them with helping them organize their time and showing them how they can be more organized, how they can. So anything I think that we can do as instructors to help the students to find ways to stay organized, even to self-reflect. Have I logged in? Have I logged in often? How much time have I actually devoted to assignments in MindTap or assignments in general, studying, meditating, etc. This is very, very, and I was just explaining to another professor yesterday that as instructors, it is important for us to help students boost their own self-efficacy And in order to do that, we have to help them get organized, or we have to show them tools that are available, ways that they can organize so that they can boost their own self-efficacy. And that, along with the motivation and inspiration from the instructor, would actually help them to be even more successful, even more engaged in the course. So I totally agree with you, Dr. Pinder. Are there any further questions, any comments at this time? Any requests for the Cengage team to pretty much go over something, review something? Feel free to open up your mic, make the request, ask the question, type it in the chat. And if there are no further questions, no comments or concerns at this time, do I have a volunteer? I'm going to do the same thing. Who will be willing to open up their mic and give us 3 words that describes this session? And don't be scared.
Oh, I will definitely say it was timely. I felt like the coverage was really good. A lot of my questions I had were answered. And Brenda and Jose know me personally. You'll be hearing from me to visit my class. So thank you so much. Sorry, Dr. Butler, over to you.
That's all right, no problem.
Go ahead, Mrs. Butler, Professor Butler. You wanted to say something? No?
Well, I was just going to say that, I mean, there's so much shared today in terms of the depth of knowledge and even the extra tips in terms of what we should do it as professors and helping our own students that I think it's going to take some time, at least for me, to sort of organize and go through it and just to follow up with students, because you always have to show them. They don't automatically search for the information. They want to be shown, and I'm trying to get my students to be more independent. And if I say this is the link, go and look at it and watch it at least before you ask questions. So very informative, and thank you very much for your willingness to share the extra tips and all the information that you shared today. Thank you.
Yes, and I agree with Dr. Butler as well. I think it's very, and research would speak to this too. You know, as educators, we know we should not make assumptions. And so I would encourage all on that day 1 or day 2 of week 1, you know, you want to take your time to go through some basic stuff with your students so that they can see where you want them to go to see the join link. You want to walk them through the process as far as you can. You want to, because this is a part of getting rid of all of the questions, getting rid of all of the assumptions, making sure that they are comfortable with the platform. And when you talk about technology integration, that is key to really getting students engaged and embracing the technologies that we want them to use. You have to walk them through it. They have to feel comfortable in this realm. And, you know, sometimes I assume that because they're, you know, in this microwavable period, they know everything technological. Sometimes that's what I think, but only when I sit and I realize, you know, what the reality is, they're not where I'm thinking they are in some regards as it relates to my class and the textbook. So that there are no assumptions, there are no excuses. You know, you just introduce them to what your expectations are from a technological perspective, walking them through, this is how you will have to go to log in. This is what your textbook online looks like. This is what your MindTap activities would look like. If you need to do an activity, I'm just going to walk with you through one assignment so that you can feel it out, so that they can feel more confident about what they're doing. And once we do that as instructors, we would see that their engagement is more, they feel better about the eTextbook, about using Moodle. And, you know, I just want to stress that is very critical, you know, during the learning process. And you help to build their own self-efficacy, and that, you know, will give them the confidence to cover and complete successfully the course using the online textbook. And with that said, I want to say officially to Dr. Pinder and Dr. Butler, I do have a prize for you both. You know, it's going to be a beautiful prize. I'm sure you would like it for your contribution.
iPhone 16 Pro, thank you.
if we can get any of them, you know. I don't
Just
know.
kidding, just kidding.
Putting some pressure on me, but I'll work on something for the new year, literally for the new year. But we do have a trinket for you, and I'll make sure that you get it. Again, Open Learning is located in the CATS building, office C146 and C147. Jose and Brenda, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this training journey with us as Open Learning seeks to service the needs of faculty in order to improve what we do and make it a seamless experience for both instructors as well as students, because teacher efficacy makes the difference as well. And so if instructors are confident and comfortable and willing to embrace the technologies, no doubt the students will, you know, it will trickle down. So we want to make sure that our instructors are ready and equipped to do all that they desire to do with Cengage products so that their teaching experience, their pedagogical experience can actually be unpacked to students in a way where they, you know what, everyone needs to take this teacher or this course or see with this instructor, because they do an amazing job with the tools that they are provided. And you, Cengage, have helped us to, you know, allow the faculty members to harness their skills in this regard. And so on behalf of all of the faculty members present, including Open Learning, we want to say thank you for being a partner with us on this journey. We welcome any type of engagement and trinkets in the future when you come down in March. So don't come empty-handed, please.
We will. I just want to add something. I'm about to explode if I don't say something at the very end. So I apologize for this interruption, Chanel.
I'm
thank
done.
you.
You go ahead.
I'm gratefully thankful for everything, for this part, for making us part of these type of sessions. And we do know by fact that questions and situations arise once you are in practicing, not in the theory, because now everything seems like cool and great. But whenever you have these type of roadblocks, feel free to reach out to us. And when we say that we are committed to support the community, this includes the students as well. Just like Dr. Pinder mentioned a couple of minutes ago, she's inviting us to participate in her online courses so we can engage with the students. It's something that we are willing to commit to complete and to do with any of you faculty staff. If you want us to, you know, have a small session throughout your course, just invite us to be part of that. And we can even plan it ahead of time for the next academic year to have a session kind of like this one with the students, so they are more familiarized with all the platform, with enrollment, with the resources, the gadgets, and everything from Cengage. Also in the chat, I included a link where students do have access to the Cengage Read app. It's a mobile app that they can download into their smartphone. And once they download it into their smartphone, they just need to log in as they are logging into the Cengage account, and they will have access to the ebook as in an offline mode. So they don't need to be synchronized in the internet or anything. They just have like a downloaded copy in their smartphone, and from there they can navigate the book freely. So there's so many other things that we can discuss, you know, in the next couple of weeks with Ms. Robinson and Dr. Bethel, so that from there we can figure out a session that we can deliver to the students so they can maximize the resource, and, you know, everything as a community will be, you know, perfect and synchronized for that. So I appreciate your time, appreciate your patience, appreciate all your feedbacks and everything. And yeah, I'm looking forward to be there by early March. And of course, I will handle my presents to you, Miss Robinson.
As you know, we things.
Thank you so much, Brenda and Jose, and thank you, faculty members, for participating this morning. Please, before you go, remember to complete the evaluation for this morning's session. The link is in the chat, and again, look out for early spring semester. Jose will be down, and he will be willing to answer all of your questions in person. But don't feel like you have to wait until that time. Reach out to either he or Brenda if you're having any difficulties at all. They will be more than willing to help you get your course up and running. I just dropped the evaluation link in the chat one more time, so you should be able to see it now. Thanks again. Over to you, Ms. Robinson.
Okay, we're pretty much done here again. If you have not had a chance to click on the evaluation link, you want to click on the evaluation link. Just as a reminder, this afternoon, we do have a session after lunch, which is from 12 to 1, which is with the Norton eTextbook publishing company. And then tomorrow is Saturday. On Monday, right? On Monday morning, which is January 6th, we would continue with Norton Advanced Tools for Assessment in Gradebook to this afternoon. Norton's beginner session will take place. Then on Monday, they will continue with Advanced Tools for Assessment in Gradebook Setup. Thereafter, we have an H5P. Well, no, this is running concurrent to Norton, an H5P session, and instructors are encouraged to really attend that session. If you use PowerPoint and use PowerPoint often, this will add another toolbox, another presentation tool, to your toolbox, or another authoring tool to your toolbox that would allow you to create engaging content to add to Moodle. So that will be also on Monday at 10 o'clock until 12 noon. We have an introduction aspect to it, and then Dr. Bethel will go in depth with some additional tools that you can use for H5P. And then we have Pearson that will be from 1 to 3 on Monday. So hopefully we will be able to later this afternoon send you those links for you to join the specific sessions of interest on Monday. So without further delay, I just want to say thank you all for your participation again. Thank you to Cengage for your presence. And I hope you guys, some of you may join us back at 1 o'clock. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day.
And thank you
so much.
to Dr. Bethel,
Friday. Great weekend as well.
Muchas gracias, Brenda and Jose.
Gracias.
Have a great weekend.
Our pleasure. Thank you.